Hi students, now I am here to deal with the topic male reproductive system that comes under the chapter human reproduction in class 12, and I welcome you all to this session. In sexual reproduction, you have already learned there are three major events: pre-fertilization events, fertilization events and post-fertilization events. Now in the case of human beings, the pre-fertilization events are the gametogenesis and the gamete transfer. Gametogenesis in the case of males is spermatogenesis, and in the case of females it is oogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the formation of the male gamete and oogenesis is the formation of the female gamete. Next comes gamete transfer, and in the case of humans it is insemination. That is a transfer of the male gamete into the genital tract of the female. So, gametogenesis and insemination are the pre-fertilization events. Next comes the fertilization event. During fertilization, male and female gamete fuse to form a zygote. So, that is all what you have to know about the fertilization event. Next comes the post-fertilization event. This post-fertilization event involves implantation, gestation and parturition. Now what is implantation? Attachment of the embryo to the wall of the uterus. Implantation is the attachment of the embryo to the wall of the uterus. Gestation is the period of embryonic development, and you know in the case of humans it is around 9 months and 1 week. Last is the parturition, that is the process of childbirth. So the pre-fertilization events are the gametogenesis and insemination. Then comes fertilization event. Then post-fertilization event that involves implantation, gestation and parturition. So today you will be dealing with the parts of the male reproductive system. The male reproductive system consists of a pair of testes, accessory ducts, accessory glands and external genitalia. So these are the parts of the male reproductive system. So this testis is the primary reproductive organ, and the testis is covered by a dense connective tissue called tunica albuginea. So the covering of the testis is the tunica albuginea, and within each testis there are about 250 compartments. These compartments are called the testicular lobules. Within each lobule, there are 1 to 3 highly convoluted tubules. These are the seminiferous tubules, and these seminiferous tubules are the structural and functional unit of the testis. So what all are the parts of the testis? Each testis is covered by a covering called tunica albuginea. Within each testis there are around 250 compartments. These compartments are called testicular lobules. Within each lobule, there are 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules are the structural and functional unit of the testis. So now you will learn about the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules are the structural and functional unit of the testis. These seminiferous tubules are lined by cells on the inner side as well as the outer side. Each seminiferous tubule, you can see cells are seen lining on the inner side as well as the outer side. On the inner side of the seminiferous tubules, there are two types of cells. These are the spermatogonia and the Sertoli cells. Now this spermatogonia is the male germ cell that give rise to spermatozoa. Sertoli cells nourishes the developing male gamete. Coming to the outer side of the seminiferous tubule, there are spaces. These spaces are called interstitial spaces, and these spaces contain cells called Leydig cells or interstitial cells. This Leydig cell is the endocrine part of the testis and produce the male sex hormones. So which is the structural and functional unit of the testis? That is the seminiferous tubules. The cells of the seminiferous tubules are the spermatogonia and the Sertoli cells seen on the inner side and Leydig cells seen on the outer side. Spermatogonia is the male germ cell and Sertoli cell nourishes the developing spermatozoa, which is the endocrine part of the testis, Leydig cells. Now this testis is located outside the abdominal cavity in a sac-like structure called scrotum. This already I have learned in class 10. Now why the testis is extra abdominal? This is because the formation of the male gamete requires a temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the normal body temperature necessary for spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis can take place only if the temperature is 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature, and for this reason the testis is extra abdominal. Next comes the accessory ducts. The two ends of the seminiferous tubules, will join together to form a duct, and this duct form a membranous labyrinth that is called as a rete testis. This rete testis will then open into the vasa efferentia. This vasa efferentia will leave the testis and open into the epididymis. This epididymis is located along the posterior surface of each testis. The epididymis then leads into the vas deferens. The vas deferens ascends into the abdomen. You know the testis is extra abdominal, and this vas deferens moves up into the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. Vas deferens will receive duct from the seminal vesicle and opens into the urethra as the ejaculatory duct. So what are the duct system of male reproductive system? Seminiferous tubules, the two ends will join with the rete testis, then comes vasa efferentia, then comes epididymis, and then the vas deferens. This vas deferens will move up into the abdomen and receive duct from the seminal vesicle and opens into the urethra as the ejaculatory duct. Now what is the function of the accessory ducts? These accessory ducts store and transport the sperms from the testis to the outside. Conduct of sperms to the outside, or transport of sperms to the outside. Next comes the accessory glands. The accessory glands in male reproductive system are seminal vesicles, bulbourethral glands, and prostate gland. So these are the three accessory glands. Seminal vesicles and bulbourethral glands are paired glands. Prostate gland is single. Now what is the function of these glands? Secretions of these glands constitute the seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. Bulbourethral glands help in the lubrication of the penis, and the single prostate gland helps in the transport of sperms easier. So accessory glands, two of the glands are paired glands and the prostate gland is single. What are the three types of glands? Seminal vesicles, bulbourethral glands, and prostate gland. Last part of the male reproductive system is the external genitalia. Penis is the male external genitalia, and the enlarged end of the penis is called glans penis, which is covered by a loose fold of skin called foreskin. Hope you have enjoyed my lesson. If so, please like, comment, and subscribe. And visit the website www.ranipradeep.com for detailed notes of this chapter. Thank you.